Hi, and welcome to part 1 of this series of videos on non-right angled trigonometry. All these will basically go further beyond your basic trig. So hopefully you know basic SOHCAHTOA. If not, watch the video first, and also be fine solving basic equations. So let's get started. First thing we need to do is look at how we label a triangle. For all these methods, you can label a triangle in a very specific way. First things first, I can call the angles A, B and C in any order that I want. Make sure for your angles you have capital letters. Okay, and then for the sides they're also going to be A, B and C, but the key thing is that your side A must be opposite your angle A. So my side A will go here, and that will be a lowercase a. Angle B is here, so my side B is here. Angle C is here, so side C is here. So remember, angles always opposite sides. Angles are uppercase and sides are lowercase. So we have a selection of rules. We've got the sine rule, the cosine rule, and area of a triangle. We are just doing a sine rule today, and that looks like this. Okay, so I'm going to go through two examples, just get a handle of how it works. So before I do that, before we get started, keep in mind we want to use this top version with the sides on top for when I'm finding a side. And then the exact opposite, this has the angles on top, so that's the version I'm going to use when finding an angle. Okay, doesn't make too much difference, just makes your life a bit easier if you follow those rules. First example, we're going to find x here. So x is a side, which means I'm going to use this top row of equations. For these equations, you can basically ignore the c part. We only need to really use the first two, because we've only got two pairs of sides and angles. So I'm going to label things. I'm going to call this A, which means this must be capital A, this B, so this must be capital B. And then writing this down, A over sine A is going to be x divided by sine of 50, and that's going to equal b over sine b, which will be 17 over sine of 100. Now we're going to solve this. This we should have to do, should recognise this format. We have x divided by something, the opposite of dividing by something is timesing by something. So if I want to work out x, I'm going to do 17 over sine 100, and I'm going to times that all by sine 50. And that you can just plug into your calculator. If you do that, you will get a final answer of 13.2 centimetres when rounding to three significant figures. So again, all these questions always round to three significant figures. Okay, I'll go through another example. That'll be the same idea, except here I'm finding an angle. Again, we only need two of these equations. We don't really care about the c over sine c. And because I'm finding an angle, I'm going to want to use this lower equation this time. So let's label our things again. I'll call x a again, which means this is lowercase a, this is capital B, and this is lowercase b. And let's just chuck the all into this equation. So sine a becomes sine x over a, so over 10. That's going to equal sine b, which is sine 62, divided by b, which is 15. Okay, same trick as before. I want to get sine x by itself, so I'm going to have to times the right hand side by 10. And if I work that out, I get 0.589 to three significant figures. That's not my final answer. What I've got there is sine of the angle. And we should know if you want to undo the sine, if you've got a sine and you want to get rid of it, we have to use sine to the minus 1. So that means x will be sine to the minus 1 of what I just worked out here, my 0.589. And if you do that, you should get an answer of 36.1 degree. Okay, be careful any rounding errors there, and that's the 3 significant figures again. Okay, hopefully that wasn't too confusing for you. Next, got some questions for you to try. Feel free to either use them from the worksheet in the description or pause the video now to go through them. Okay, and just so you can check you're doing the right thing, I will give you what you should be getting for answers for the first 2 questions. So for question 1, you should have worked out that x was So for question 1, you should have worked out that x was 10 over sine 62 times by sine 85. And if you type that all in, you will get 11.3 centimeters, again round to 3 significant figures. For question 2, from the same method, you should have got that sine x equals to sine of 82 over 7 times 3. You will then work out what that gives you, and you will then do sine to the minus 1 of that answer. Okay. Quick aside, make sure your calculator is in degrees. If it's set wrong, you will get all these answers wrong and it might throw you out. So make sure your calculator is set in degrees. Okay, if you do that, you will get an answer of 25.1 degree. Okay, good luck with the other questions, and as always, thanks for listening.